another bullet maybe? Numbers are just a tad bit higher. Nope. Oh, beautiful. Oh man, it's even got the innards. I mean, really, with doing this, where does my commute actually begin? Well, hey everybody, welcome to another Not Thursday in the backwoods of New Hampshire. I guess my commute begins or ends here out in the woods. It just took me a half an hour to get into this area, which I really love. It's time to shed a layer and explain to you what I'm thinking today. Well, obviously I brought my metal detector with me. We're going into the hills here. This area is riddled with 2,000-foot peaks all around. And then in between is where the settlers cut out their roads and farmlands what they could. And I figured I would start here today at this well. It's, well, rather intriguing. And the biggest reason for that is because there's nothing around. I mean, it is in the middle of absolutely nothing. Somebody could have settled right around here, but I don't know. So what we're doing is we are going to navigate along the edge of this mountain, because the old road, what parts of it you can find, and I will show you after, hugged the side of it. And this is the road that supposedly goes back like 300 years before the secondary road, which was early 1800s, and then the main road, which is, you know, after that. So I'm gonna walk around the well a little bit here, but then we're gonna head out there and see what we can find, and hopefully find a place to metal detect. I know it doesn't look steep, but it gets steep in sections. A lot of roly-poly type hills. And the funny thing is, depending upon what history book you read, you get a different story. Then again, I guess things never change, do they? That is east. That is west. History on the east side of the strip of mountains starts, written history, starts back in the late 1600s. You go the mile in this direction, 1750s. There's this interesting gap, and depending upon which book you read, well, because of province line changes, town changes, county changes. Believe it or not, this used to be Canada even at one point in time. The story is different. And that's what's enabled me to find some pretty interesting places out here. So we're going to keep following along the ridge line down to the old dead road and see what's in between. Okay. So I'm entering the square that I want. This place is perfectly gridded with these stone walls. I mean, they're perfectly square. They're huge, but all these lots were squared off proper. And up there on that peak, one of my oldest coins of 1719 was found up there. So there's definitely old stuff on this side. But we got to get down the base here, right before it turns to marshland. That's where the chunk of old road is. You could tell they were skirting between the hill and the water. All right. So here we are, 50 minutes in, and there's our chunk of dead road. And it don't look like much. In reality, there's only a few hundred feet of it, and on both ends, it's gone. I found this a few years ago just by doing what we're doing today. But the cool thing is, right over here behind me, somebody lived there. It's just a footprint, no cellar. So let's turn the metal detector on and see if we can find anything. Well, it's not a good signal, but it's a signal. Can you guys see that line right there? That's the lip. That's the footprint. It's perfectly square. Probably was a salt box style house. And it just pops out when you're walking through the woods here. Oh, there's a relic. A square iron tack buckle. And you know it's at least a couple hundred years old, so that's a good start. Bullet. That makes sense. Beautiful. A dinnerware knife. Alright, that was tough under the roots, but we're right beside the footprint, as you can see. Another bullet, maybe? Numbers are just a tad bit higher. Nope. Oh, beautiful. Oh man, it's even got the innards. Looks like a knee buckle to me. Oh, look at that green. That is fantastic and worth the hike. Oh yeah. See, you never know with those signals. Sounded like that. Sounded and felt the same, but the numbers were just a tad bit higher. Awesome. Oh, of course. The day is complete. I got the oxen shoe. Yeah, it had that sound of uncertainty, but the numbers were up there. All right. I'm in the department of the oxen shoe. So this is my third trip. Haven't spent too much time out here, but there's no barn. There's no well. That just goes up. That just goes down. It's very typical on these early settler sites that we find no barn, no well. They probably weren't here too long. And it was somewhere in that window of mid 1700s to 1800. Been a long time, but small, very small here. But I like it. Little lead ball. And who knows how old it is. Definitely sounds like iron. Definitely sounds like a rock. Matching square buckle. So I'm up on the lift a little bit behind where the house was. Just out of curiosity, I'd never come up this side. There is actually a trail, maybe a cart path, it might go up to the guy on the hill, which I want to mention. And bringing us back to what I was saying in the beginning, if you live in New England, you've read your town history, do yourself a favor and read all the books around you. Because these people out here, in particular the one that lives way down the bottom of the hill, he was mentioned in a book, not of this town, but of the town next door, because that's where he went to church. And a lot of these towns in New England broke up because it was such a hardship to get to the meeting house or the church. It took me 50 minutes to come up over this. And it's not terribly far, but 50 minutes of walking. Never mind, I know where the meeting house is. And so the point is, when that gentleman or that family was mentioned in the book, there was a small paragraph that mentioned the people who lived up behind him on the old road. But it was this area is not mentioned in this town's history. I'm just on a trifecta of lines here. But that's how I found this area, by reading the other book. And that's how you put it all together. All right, a few more minutes. I think we're going to walk up this a bit, and then I'm going to take the long way back so I can see more land. It's actually taking me in the opposite direction I need to go, but it's too intriguing. That's why I stopped detecting a little early. Huh. Just so I could check it out. And navigating isn't too bad. Well, everybody, that's it. I had limited time today. Still a few hours for me because of the hike on both ends. That was just a trail. It actually looped back down around. But another thing that I did learn while being out here in the spring, I've passed 3 hunting stands along the way. So that's something that's good information for when hunting season is in full swing. It's always good to know where the stands are. It's good to know where you stand, right? Right. All right, everybody. Get out, explore your world. Read some history. You'll be surprised what you'll find out right under your nose. And enjoy your Not Thursday.